Claire Morgan always believed her family was ordinary. Her father was quiet. Her mother was careful with words. And her younger brother was the kind of boy who always kept secrets from her, though harmless ones like hidden candy or unsent love letters. But on the night she found the yellowing envelope at the bottom of her mother's desk drawer, Claire realized her family was built on something much heavier than small lies. The envelope had her name written on it in handwriting. That didn't belong to either of her parents. Her fingers trembled as she pulled it open. The letter inside wasn't long, but every word seemed to scrape at her chest. Claire, one day you will learn the truth about why things are the way they are. Do not hate your mother for keeping it from you. She only wanted to protect you. There was no signature, only the faint smell of old paper. She sat frozen in the dark living room, the lamp throwing a thin glow across her pale face. The house was silent, except for the hum of the fridge in the kitchen. She wanted to march upstairs, wake her mother, and demand answers, but she didn't. Instead, she folded the letter and slid it back into the envelope. She needed to think. The next morning, her mother acted normal. She made coffee, asked about Claire's work, and reminded her to call her brother. But every movement, every word seemed rehearsed now. Claire studied her like she was seeing her for the first time, and she noticed the way her mother's hands shook when she poured sugar into her cup. Mom, Claire said carefully, did you ever keep something from me? Something important? Her mother's eyes flickered up, then quickly away. Everyone keeps things, Claire. That doesn't mean they're bad, but Claire heard the quiver in her mother's voice, and it felt like confirmation. Narrator pauses, lowest tone for suspense. What would you do if the woman you trusted most hid a truth that could shatter everything you believed about yourself? Would you confront her immediately? Or wait until the secret revealed itself? Stay with me, because what Claire discovers next will change the way she looks at her family forever. 5-second silence. The narration continues. Claire spent the day restless, the letter burning in her mind. She drove to work, but barely remembered the commute. She stared at her computer screen while emails piled up, her thoughts circling back to that single envelope. By evening, she couldn't hold it in anymore. She needed help, or at least someone to hear her out. So she called her brother? Daniel, she said when he picked up, did Mom ever seem strange to you? Like she's hiding something. He gave a short laugh, the kind that sounded forced. Claire, Mom's always been careful. That's just who she is. You're over there. But his voice betrayed him. There was hesitation in the way he spoke, like he already knew what she was hinting at. You know something? She whispered. Don't, Claire. Just don't dig into things. Sometimes not knowing is better. And then he hung up before she could say another word. Her heart thudded against her ribs. She stared at the phone in her hand, feeling more alone than she ever had. If Daniel knew, and her mother knew, then she was the only one left in the dark, and that terrified her. That night, Claire couldn't sleep. She paced her room, the letter on her nightstand. Finally, just before dawn, she made a decision. She would find the truth herself. If her family wouldn't give it to her, she'd take it. She returned to the desk where she had found the envelope. She pulled open drawers, searching for more. Most were filled with receipts, old photographs, and pens that no longer worked. But in the back of the bottom drawer, beneath a stack of notebooks, she found a second envelope. This one wasn't addressed. Her breath caught as she tore it open. Inside was a faded photograph of a man she didn't recognize, standing beside her mother. They were younger, smiling, and holding a baby. The baby wasn't Daniel. The baby wasn't her. Her hand shook so violently, the photo almost slipped through her fingers. Who was that child? And why did her mother keep this picture hidden? Just then, footsteps creaked in the hallway. Claire shoved the envelope back into the drawer and slammed it shut. The doorknob turned. Her mother stood in the doorway, her face pale, her lips pressed tight. Claire, she said in a low, steady voice, we need to talk. Claire Morgan always believed her family was ordinary. Her father was quiet, her mother was careful with words, and her younger brother was the kind of boy who always kept secrets from her. However, one day, while cleaning out her mother's desk, Claire found an old envelope addressed to her. It was filled with letters from her mother, written in a shaky hand. The last one simply read, If you're reading this, I'm hiding something from you. Please don't try to find out the truth. I never meant for things to turn out like this. Claire felt a chill down her spine. What was her mother hiding? Was she adopted? Had her dad been unfaithful? Or was there something more sinister at play? Determined to get to the bottom of it, Claire confronted her mother. Mom, why did you write that letter? Her mother's face drained of color, and she stammered. I just didn't want you to know some things. That's all. Claire wasn't buying it. She noticed that her mother's hands were shaking, and she had a strange glint in her eye. Claire turned to her brother, Daniel, for help. He was 2 years younger than her, and had always been protective of her. But when she told him about the letter, his reaction was strange. Don't dig any deeper, Claire. You don't want to know what's in that letter? His sudden outburst made Claire even more suspicious. Was her brother involved in whatever her mother was hiding? Determined to uncover the truth, Claire went back to her mother's desk. She found another envelope, this one containing an old photograph of her mother with a man and a baby. Claire didn't recognize the baby or the man. Who were they? And what was their connection to Claire? Just then, her mother entered the room. What are you doing with that envelope? She asked, her voice tight. I just found this in your desk, Claire replied, holding up the envelope. We need to talk, her mother said, reaching for the envelope. As she watched her mother walk away, Claire couldn't shake off the feeling that there was more to her family than met the eye. What was her mother hiding? And would Claire be able to uncover the truth?